I've got 1, 2, 3 fridges. Large commercial fridge for my kegs, and then the other one's for my fermentation.
All uprights, or are you using some freezers?
All uprights. I have a chest freezer, but that's mainly for all my hops and my fruit and stuff. Right. But the uprights have proper controllers on them as well, so I can set temperatures, I can drop temperatures by steps. What else? Yeah, and I can leave them up high as well. So for instance, if I'm doing a Belgian mead, I can leave it around 20 something degrees and let the mead itself and the yeast push the temperature higher to add flakes and esters, whatever else, to the mead.
Cool. And have you come across any Australian honeys, or any honeys, that you don't like to use, and why?
Not yet. I don't necessarily want to use leatherwood, but
Really?
I'm the person that actually doesn't like leatherwood.
Oh, that's
so I may end up using it eventually, but one, I have to bring it in from Tasmania, and two, it'll have to be pasteurised before I get it.
Yeah, that would sort of... I was mentioning before, we might have to pre-ferment some of your stuff for you so you can get it over the border more easily.
Yeah, yeast samples.
Or even better, I could have a second meadery in another state.
Yeah, that's basically
that works.
what I was saying, yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. Melbourne is not in the sights quite soon. No. I want to do Perth, then I'll do most likely Melbourne, because it's probably the next best city to do.
You're just going to get Hamish going on about the wonders of Melbourne now. Just don't, okay?
My dad was born in Melbourne.
No, he's Australian. He knows the best city.
Yeah, it's Perth. Perth used to be quite dull. It's actually quite fantastic now. There's so much more culture, I guess you could say. There's actually more things to do.
There's stuff to do.
The price of that culture is the trouble.
I mean, the next closest place for me, if I was going to go for a holiday between here or another Australian city, would be Bali. So in Indonesia, it's actually closer for me to fly to Bali than it is for me to fly to Melbourne.
That just blows me away, because Bali is this like totally unattainable place to us. You know,
I've been there so many times.
Hamish had mentioned that too, and it's like, okay,
it's a rite of passage for anyone in WA, because Bali's just north Perth.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's that many people there from Perth. Like, you've got people flying in and flying out from the mines in North WA, living in Bali.
Oh my God. So they're commuting from Bali to work at the mines.
Yeah, exactly.
When the company pays your commute flight, yeah.
Cha. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's like Bali is on the like list. That Bali is like the Keys on steroids is in my head. That's what it looks like.
And in the mines, they pay you 3 times what you get paid to live in Australia, and then you're living in Bali.
Yeah.
That would just suck.
Yeah. So,
just
so like 6-7 times.
It would just, how terrible to have to live in Bali. Just awful. Terrible.
Well, there's all the meads in Asia as well now. They're popping up, and you got your Superstition and the Gosnells, I think, going into Singapore.
Mm-hmm. And Moonlight is also in the Pacific.
Moonlight, of course, yes.
Yeah, but I think they were the first.
Moonlight's even here in Australia. Come on.
They are. Yeah, I remember when he opened Australia. But
do you know why it's in Perth? Because I wouldn't shut up about it. I'm like, when it's in Perth, I need it in Perth. I need to drink it, and then proceeded to buy every single one of them.
The funny thing is, though, is that while there's meads being exported from the States and other places to, the Pacific Rim and Australia and whatnot, at least on the Pacific Rim, there isn't a lot of native meads. There's like 1 or 2. There's a guy in 1 or 2 of the groups on Facebook, and I can't remember his name, I'm sorry to say, but he hosted Superstition when they were over there, and he was talking. They're trying to get like a mead tradition going there, to get mead happening that's locally produced. And one of the things that Rob Ratliff said when he was over there was, because every place he goes, he brings home honey that he then turns into some meat or another. And he was able to find honey everywhere except when he went to he was in Beijing, I believe it was, and he said all the honey was being shipped in from like Taiwan. There wasn't any local honey at all, which kind of stunned me. Yeah, I kind of figured there would be. So
I have no idea. I've never actually looked for it when I've been over in Asia. Like I've been Malaysia and that. I've never really seen it, and I never really looked for it when I was there. But yeah, but then I'm coming back to a place in Western Australia where I wouldn't be allowed to bring it back in anyway.
Yeah, very true, very true. Yeah, well, apparently Great Britain's got a little bit different rules. That's where Rob lives, and he brings home a certain amount of honey from every place he goes that he can. You know. But he said that it's really interesting because China has been exporting metric butt tons of honey all over the world and diluting the world honey supply with stuff that's been, had stuff done to it, and and it's getting banned right and left. I mean, where y'all kicked it out, we kicked it out, and it's really interesting because they've got like butt tons of honey that they're getting from somewhere. But nobody can find any of this elusive honey when you're there. Now, granted, China is a big country, so maybe they're getting it from somewhere out in the rural areas, but there wasn't any of it in Beijing.
I've not been there, so I can't tell you. I haven't really looked.
My husband has, Rob has, I have not. And the extent of my international travels is limited to a little bit of Canada and a couple of weeks in Great Britain and Scotland, so...
And soon to be Australia.
And soon to be Australia, yeah. So, have you worked out how we're going to get to Perth yet? Because if we don't go, we're going to catch all kind of shit from this guy we know over there.
Hey, it's a nice drive.
I'll bet.
It is a nice drive, but I don't think she has the time for that kind of drive.
I've done it. I did it 2 times in my life. Not by choice, but my dad was in the Navy, so we lived in Sydney, Melbourne, and Perth. So we drove across the Nullarbor twice.
What's the Nullarbor?
It's a large stretch of road, desert area.
It's broken up in. You break the word up into 2 parts: null and bore. So it's really not much.
Absolutely nothing on it, huh?
Pretty much. I remember as a kid we're staying at a motel on the way, and going out at night, and the motel owners got everyone out of their hotel rooms to just see these kangaroos. And what they did is they turned all the lights on, and there was thousands of kangaroos everywhere.
Oh my god, that would be creepy.
I mean, I've seen a lot of kangaroos, but that was a lot of kangaroos.
That would be really creepy. That would be like some kind of bad horror movie. Like the next scene would be everybody being kicked to death or something.
They're generally pretty sedate. I did actually hit one on my wedding day, funny enough, though.
Oh, really? Oh, that was your video we all watched, huh?
Did it hit that?
No, I hit it with a car.
Yeah, no, that's what this video was. It was a hopper coming in front of the car and then getting bounced up over the hood of the car.
It was a pickup truck, and it kicked the crap out of the box of the truck.
It did,
It's one of the perks of being down south. Like, we were getting married down south, and... Yeah, it just because kangaroos will face one way and then jump the other way in front of the car, and then so much fun.
We punted a deer into a cornfield on our way up to my folks the last time we were on our way home. Didn't hurt the truck. I'm pretty sure the deer didn't do too well.
Wow.
Yeah, and
it's fine when it's just one deer, but when there's 2, I always hit the second one. I've done it twice now.
Yeah.
I've never hit an Australian animal without seriously damaging the car.
We got lucky. I think we just caught it at just the right angle because we pulled off to the side and leapt out and were with flashlights going, oh hell, because we were hauling my mom's car up, so we were pulling a trailer behind us with my mom's car.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, and John did a good job of stopping, but yeah, we watched the deer. I mean, and whitetail in Michigan are bigger than kangaroos. They're big animals. They're like 200-300 pounds, so they're big.
I was going to say grey or red kangaroos, but let's not get into that discussion.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. I wouldn't know the difference anyway. So
we only have baby greys here.
Yeah, you definitely have to come over to Perth and make our way down to Margaret River. You'll love it. There's just wineries for until the eye can see.
Oh, nice.
So I advise you.
Maybe I'll just fly into Perth
and
and
extend
just
your holiday by a week.
skip Melbourne altogether and just go straight to Perth. You know.
Uh-huh.
No, you'll be missing out from Melbourne as well, though. There's lots of stuff to do in Melbourne.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, Hamish is
So
pushing
grab
me.
yourself a cross-country flight and extend your holiday by a week.
Yeah, and just how expensive is a cross-country flight in Australia? Here, it's like ridiculous amounts of money.
One way is about $300
$400.
Australian. Yeah,
That's
$300.
right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could fly to fly to Denver for about $350, $400.
We are
Well,
the
then
same
it's,
size
it's
as the
less
US.
than that because in US dollars, of course.
Oh yeah, it's like, isn't it like $2 for you guys to do that over here?
So, yeah, about 240.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to figure out when now. That's gonna be the fun part because between now and then, I've got a 2.5 month run around the country, then several things that take me up till U.S. Thanksgiving, and then it's the holidays. And my daughter is going to be back from the West Coast and living close to here for 6 months while she does some training for the Army. So I ain't going anywhere while she's on this side of the country. And then we get into the new year, and I start ramping up for the Mazer Cup and the MMA conference, and life is crazy. So yeah, it might be like come home from the Mazer Cup and hop a plane to Australia. It might be what it turns out to be.
Oh, gee.
Yeah.
Oh,
Never know. I might be on the same plane back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's somebody to talk to at least then, huh?
That might make it a bit tough for me to get there then.
What if you come out here and I'm not out until after?
Yeah, well, then I've got to take holidays for the Mazer Cup and holidays when you get here
And
to
when I
look
get
after
there,
you.
yeah. Well, okay.
We generally have a lot of our festivals or beer events and homebrew events and that sort of stuff later on in the year.
Okay.
So, like for instance, normally we'll have a homebrew conference in October.
And that's
When the weather is finer.
yeah. I was gonna say it's like
ne-
spring for
so-
y'all, isn't it? October-ish.
Yeah, so next year that's in Melbourne. So
Oh, well, okay.
the next Australian National Homebrewers Conference is in
That
Melbourne.
might be a good thing to do, Haim. You know.
Yeah. I thought you said it was in WA.
So the competition is here in Perth this year. So the ANHC, so the conference is two yearly. So every 2 years they'll do it, and we do the actual national competition every year. So
Yeah, the website still says 2016, so that's needs some updating maybe.
yeah, there's a lot of work that we need to sort out, but there's lots of people involved across the large country of Australia. So
Cool.
So, and we talked earlier about what's your favorite thing to make, and you went to beer, which is fine. But what's your favorite? But since this is a mead show, let's drag you back
Braggots.
onto mead. What's your favorite meads to make when you're just
Braggots
making for
are
your
my
own
favourite.
braggots?
yeah, definitely Braggots, and the Belgian dark strong mead. It's 50. It's usually about 50-50 dark candy sugar and honey. And then I'll use a Belgian ale yeast of some sort.
Mm.
That does sound tasty.
But then I'll also keep it around below 10% as well.
You
So,
kind of have to.
Make it nice and easy drinking. But something that I will be doing a lot more of will be hoppy session meads. So
That'll be fun. Hopped meads are a blast. I really like hopped meads.
because I did do one recently, and that's the one the wife didn't want to put down. So I'll need to make some more of that.
Got drunk up too fast, huh?
Well, it's either that or I'm making more kombucha. So because I make that as well.
Oh, I like kombucha. There's a place up in Maine. It's called the Fermentory, and my friend Eli Kayer owns it, and he does kombuchas and juns and what was the other? And mead and cider. So he's doing some really interesting stuff up there.
Yeah, I think most people who ferment generally ferment everything.
Yeah, why not? I mean, if it can be fermented, shouldn't it be?
If it sits still long enough, it's fair game.
That's right.
Yeah, not milk.
No, kummis is good.
No.
Yogurt.
Okay, fair.
That's not... Okay, so it's not a